The way they label people who cook, who cater, it's something is so sickening.
Yeah.
I used to be in this community, myself and my husband. People used to mock at us. They laugh at us. Most times when I went for events, there are people who judge me.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot label somebody because of their profession. You don't even know. Money has no color. That's number one.
Yeah.
You can never fulfill your dream working for somebody else. The only way you can fulfill your dream is to follow your passion. And once you have a passion and you are determined and hardworking, you will earn a fortune. I tell you the truth. Anything you put your hand and mind to it, there's money in it.
Welcome to AfriSota, shining a light on the vibrant heart of the African immigrant community in Minnesota. Today we're taking you inside JTC African Cuisine, a culinary gem located at the Northtown Mall in Blaine. Owned and managed by inspiring and passionate entrepreneurs, JTC African Cuisine isn't just a restaurant. It is a bridge connecting cultures, a place where the rich flavors of Africa meet the welcoming spirit of Minnesota. JTC African Cuisine stands out as a beacon of cultural exchange and inclusivity, embodying the entrepreneurial spirit that drives our community forward. Join us as we sit down with the brains behind JTC African Cuisine, exploring their journey, the impact of their work on fostering an inclusive and diverse cultural environment, and how they are contributing to a stronger and more united community. This is more than just food. It's about stories, heritage, the ties that bind us all together. Stay hooked as we celebrate the taste of Africa right here in Minnesota.
Please tell our viewers who you are and where you come from.
I am the CEO of JTC African Cuisine, and my name is Alice Atem, West Africa, Cameroon. I'm from Manfe, the Sing village.
Tell us a little bit more about your educational background and how it prepared you to where you are today.
Well, as an immigrant, when you come to the United States, you have big dreams, different kind of dreams. I first started my journey as a CNA. I was supposed to do nursing. In the nursing program I went all the way to LPN, and it didn't just work. There was one class I was taking that had to do with med passing, all of that. And the class was kind of rough for me. So I dropped out of the program. But once I dropped out of the program, I started doing other things, working in the factory. I did many other things. But because I had graduated from Waikele with a degree in English language, I knew I could further my studies here in education. So I went to Bethel and I was accepted to start a bachelor's program in Bethel. So I took that advantage. My certificate was evaluated and I was qualified to start a bachelor's program there. So I started from there. I did a bachelor, I graduated with my bachelor there in educational leadership. I continued with the master's. After a few years, I finished my master's program there too. So, and I looked at it, I'm like, why am I stopping at a master's degree? I can still keep going to school and do other things. So I enrolled for the PhD program. You understand? So I was doing the PhD program, going to other things, doing my schoolwork and doing my regular jobs. So I spent a lot of time in the PhD program, almost in and out. But once you stay focused, you stay there, you stay the course, you will finish someday. For me, it took me almost 10 years to finish with my PhD in education.
Wow.
But I stayed the course.
You got to the finish line.
And I got to the finish line. So what I'm saying is, what I've realized in this country, once you stay the course, one day at a time, bit by bit, someday you will finish. It doesn't matter how long, the end goal, you will reach there if you are in the program, and if you don't quit, you will finish that program someday. So what made me decide to do my own thing at one point. I was working in corporate America. I was a teacher trainer. By profession, I'm a teacher by profession.
Okay.
So,
But what level of teaching? Was it university?
yeah, when once you have a master's degree, you can teach any level. But they will always advise you to teach like the
Higher.
the adults.
Okay.
Adult education
Okay.
mostly.
Okay.
So I do qualify to teach master trainer. I can teach adults comfortably.
Okay.
So I was a teacher trainer at YWCA. So with my profession as a teacher at YWCA, we do teach teachers who want to teach other teachers. Those who want to do, they call them CDA, so Child Development Education Associate.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So they teach preschool and all this infant education. So that's what I used to do.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for almost 3 to 4 years. So, because that particular YWCA was working under a grants program, when once they did not have enough funding for the grant program,
Yeah.
then they will look at how do we lay off some staffs.
Okay.
So, and you know how the system works here. They will cut off their own kind of people they want to cut. So I was one of those that they laid off. And then once I was laid off, I came back home. I was feeling really down. I was frustrated. But I think that was a way God was saying, enough is enough for you.
There's something
can
better
do
for you.
Something better. You go out there and focus on your dreams. Because it has always been in my mind to be my own boss.
Hold that thought right there. So you've done all this sophisticated education, and this is not small thing. I think in the United States, about 2% of United States population have a doctoral degree. So this is the class in which you belong.
Yes.
And not only did you do this, you also used it in this community, in this society, to train other trainers.
Yep.
You did this for 4 years, and you were laid off.
Yep.
Is that the point where you said, you know what, this is not for me? Or is it because the pay was also not what you envisioned yourself to get?
A combination of both. The pay was little, no doubt, but sometimes when once you're doing what you train for,
Yeah.
what you keep doing it. Okay, you keep doing it. But I was just sick and tired of the clock in, clock out. Every time you go, you answer questions, they want always to guide you on don't do this, don't do this. You understand?
Yeah.
So I was just so tired of it. And I'm like, when I came back home, I shared my experience with my husband. I'm like, honey, I think I'm done working with corporate America. I'm just so done. I need to start up something. And it was during the period of COVID, that COVID time, the heat of it. So I sat home. I used to cook a lot for the community. So every event, they knew I knew how to cook. So they would either bring me their ingredients or they would reach out. At least can you name me? So I was doing a lot of free cooking for the community.
Yeah.
I was doing all of that. So one of my friends came home. He will always come visit me once in a while. Every time he comes, he sees me in the kitchen. Alice, what are you doing? I said, I'm cooking for this party. I'm cooking for this. And he's like, no, you have to stop this. You're too much cooking for people, cooking, free cooking. You can actually use this to make a business of it.
So you were just cooking, like helping friends?
Yes.
Really?
Most times my cooking was cooking for people, helping. Most events I would cook for people for free.
Tell me something about cook. Where did you learn how to cook?
I grew up in a restaurant. My mom had a big restaurant in Douala. So she had a pepper soup joint. They knew her at Mbopi.
What was the name of the restaurant?
I cannot really remember. It was a long time. I was still young. Those
Wow.
days, class 7 primary school. That's when my mom had that restaurant in Mbopi.
So that's where that's where the cooking was instilled in you.
DNA,
Wow.
like deep root. So I remember young as we were,
Mm-hmm.
13 years
Yeah.
or 12, 13 years,
Mm-hmm.
I used to leave. Before I leave, I go to help my mom
Wow.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be washing dishes in our kitchen. So yes, my mom had a restaurant. So I grew up cooking. My stepmother too was a good cook. She too had, she used to sell food in the shade in the market. So
Yeah.
we actually grew up cooking. So cooking was something that I know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was something that I spent most of my time in the kitchen. So as I was saying, I just when that my friend gave me that idea and I shared it with my husband is like, yeah, now you're at home, you're not doing anything, so you might as well just start something. So I'm like, okay, I will open up something.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy is a Nigerian, he knows how to do business. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like the friend who came and told me I should start up a business
Yes.
instead of cooking free food. He's a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yes. My husband too is a Nigerian.
Okay.
And my husband has a PhD in business. So he
Wow.
knows business.
Wow.
So once I shared that and he knew I was serious about it, he called somebody, started right away. We registered the business. We started the website right away. We built the website.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started, build everything, build the website. We started. When once you call me to cook, I start telling people, well, I don't do free cooking anymore. So if you want me to cook, you either give me your order, I will make it for you and stuff like that. So some few people knew that they really liked my food,
Mm-hmm.
so they started ordering the food, just like that. Made my business cards and shared them to a few friends, few places, and that's how boom. But my main motive during that period, that COVID period, I'm like, there are a lot of people out here, especially the nurses. I was feeling sorry for them. A lot of these women, nurses, they were working so hard. And most of these women are women who can cook, who know good food.
Mm-hmm.
They will work and then they will see how to come to the kitchen to cook. And I'm like, why don't I even do something for just to help these nurses out there? So I'm like,
And by these nurses, your focus was you were looking at the African nurses because I can
African
imagine.
nurses, anybody who likes to eat good food and was working hard at that time,
Yeah.
I thought about them.
Okay.
Seniors, like Pabate, some few other
Mm-hmm.
seniors, I took upon myself to cook for them.
Okay.
You know, if you have money at that time, like the senior, I will not charge them. I will
Mm-hmm.
just tell them, I get this thing, I don't cook this way. They will tell me, okay, ma, cook me this. So, but the next, I reached out to some few of them. I'm like, I know you are very exhausted
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
I cook, you can just order some few dishes, keep them in the fridge. When once you come back, you can reheat them.
Mm-hmm.
Women would like to take care of their husbands to do good food for them. I reached out to them. I'm like, so people started knowing what I do.
Okay.
So for me, I was out there to cook like real good food for people who know good food. I was out there to help them. You understand?
Yeah.
Compliment that part of them that they couldn't, because it was so hard for them to go to work and come back and cook.
And still cook and
So
have good
that was
food.
what really prompted me to take this to another level. I'm
Okay.
like, I can do this. You have to have a motive, right?
Sure.
So that COVID time gave me that motive and that drive to help my community.
So you left from having the passion in you to cook to trying to solve a problem that you saw, and a problem that came so clear to you during the COVID time. Take it up for me from there. How was that transition for you?
I told you how I realized that I've gained enough customers.
Yeah.
And my house space was getting small for me. So I started looking for a space. So as I started looking for a space, I looked on the TV. They used to show this ghost kitchen where you will just cook and then they'll give you a space and you will not have to be the one to clean the kitchen. It's a ready-made kitchen. That's how they call it. Ready-made kitchen, everything with runners in there. So when I saw that advertisement on TV, I copied the number, called the guy the next morning. And he's like, yeah, we have a couple of kitchens around the Blade area and downtown Minneapolis. So that morning, I'm like, Oga, let's go. Like, call this place. He's like, where do you usually find? I'm like, when I'm at night, my brain works. I think, I look at things, I do research, I go on Google, I find things. So we went to that place. We first went to the space downtown. When once I saw the space down there, I didn't like the setting. So he said they have another location around the Blaine area. So, but he has other places to go. So we'll do the Blaine location the
Yeah.
next day. So when the following day, my husband had to travel to Nigeria.
Oh,
So he traveled. I dropped him off at the airport. The guy called me, said, "Come that Blaine location. You can come see the place." I was coming from the airport. I just branched right here. Came here. And once I saw the spot, saw the space, I knew that was for me.
okay.
And I said, the guy's name was George. And I George, this place is a nice place. It's like he himself is like, it's kind of on the high end. I'm like, that's okay. I've told you, put my name down. I'll get this kitchen.
Wow.
But once I see something that I like, I know it. I saw the space, I saw everything, I saw the setup, and knew I liked it.
And this is the space
This is
in
the space,
Northtown Mall.
Mall. I have the first African kitchen that I've ever been in the mall area. So there were a couple of other people canvassing for the same spot. So we were like almost 4 of us. And so it was first come, first serve, bargain deal, who shows the most interest. And I'm like, how much will it cost me? He told me everything.
It was a huge amount of money, I'm
It
sure.
was huge amount of money, the deposit and everything. Paying your. I was ready for it. I just called my husband over the phone. He's like, "Are you ready for it?" I said, "Honey, I'm ready for it." You know me when I say I'm ready for something. I'm ready. And I walked around, look at all the people who have kitchen here. I'm like, if these people can get this kind of kitchen and they're doing it, what would stop me from doing it too?
Yeah.
I call one of my girlfriends who is my motivator. She is a Bodo. She's like, Alice, sign the damn paper. Whatever it takes, we will make it happen. My Nigerian girlfriend, she is there for me anytime. And once I'm stuck somewhere or I need some advice or guide, because she's been in business for so many years. She knows. She's like, Alice, sign that paper. Tell Oga you have somebody who is behind.
What do you want to tell this your friend now? You can mention her name if you don't mind.
My girlfriend Helen, she's a doctor too.
Wow.
She is more than anything I can imagine. More than a sister even to me. But she has always been there. She will motivate you to the thing. She's like, sign that paper, whatever it takes, I will guide you through it.
Wow.
And once she said that, I know she means her word. But whenever she says something, she gets it done.
Yeah.
She has her own big clinic downtown.
Wow.
She's doing fantastic things. She's out there in the community. She will help you. She will guide you. She will push you. Whatever it takes, she will do it for anybody.
Wow.
If you show her that you are ready for it.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to convince my husband that I can do this. Because for me, I have a very supportive husband.
Yeah.
And he believes in me because I've never let him down in anything that I try to do. In America, anytime you struggle to do something and you are struggling too hard, it means you're not doing it right. You understand? Because I was trying to open, I think it was an umbrella, and I was fighting with that umbrella. She looked at me, she laughed, and she told me, and that is the truth. Anytime you are struggling so hard to do something or to open up something,
Yeah.
you're not doing
You're
it
not
right.
doing it right.
And ever since that thing stuck in my mind, and I've been teaching people too. Even in the kitchen, I train most of those my ladies. I tell them, even my sisters at home, I've told them, anytime you're struggling to do something,
Think about the way you are doing it.
Think about it. There's something not right.
Yeah.
Because my younger sister, when she just had her baby, she was struggling to wash the baby bottles now. She would take this cotton board, clean this. As if there should be something.
This thing is not
And
working
yes,
for you.
yes, because you cannot, the way people work here, the way they operate,
Mm-hmm.
they try to really make it easy and facilitate the process.
Yeah.
But the truth is, she was struggling on, there is a not way that she was supposed to open up that bottle, pieces it, and just rinse it off.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? She will take cotton ball, take this one, turn and yet, I say no, this thing is not right. So I told her that same process. And I'm like, anytime you're struggling so hard with something, no, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And I know she learned something from that too. You understand?
And that brings me to, you're not alone. Even when we come from Africa and get into the United States, get into Minnesota, a lot of people think that they can do it by themselves. But that friend who told you, go for it. If you need advice, I'll give you.
Yep.
If you are struggling too hard, then you are doing it wrong. Mentorship.
Mentorship, very important, very vital. Partnership, very important, very vital.
Yeah.
For us, especially Africans who want to survive here, you cannot do it by yourself.
That's
For
good.
me, my husband is very supportive. And most people who are out there who want to do business, please keep it in mind you cannot do it alone. Especially a cooking business. It's a lot of hard work. You cannot, if you want to do it and you want to grow and excel in cooking business, it has to be at least two people
Wow.
working together in partnership. You understand?
Yeah.
If you try to do it by yourself, you will not succeed. Because there are some days that I want to make money, right? I cannot just take one event. So if you take 3-4 events, how do you function? You cannot be at all those 4 places at the same time. Even if you hire people, it's not the same thing. I do have staff, but there are some things that the staffs will just not be able to handle it the way you, as the
visionary. Yeah.
has it. It's different. So once I have those corporate events, my husband will go set up there. He can go to set up at the other place. I'm behind the scene doing my magic there in the kitchen. Because for cooking, some people get it wrong. When once you're cooking, you have your recipes. Even if you train people, you still have to be hands-on. You have to.
Yeah.
Before things start falling apart. For me, I have that passion in cooking. So even if I have people who are doing it for me, I still be there to do the finishing touches. I have to. I do most of my cooking, and I will always be there to cook because I know what it takes. When somebody pays you, give you that huge amount of money that I want this, you want to give them the best. People don't go out there to order food or to ask for caterers to cook for them because they cannot cook. They can cook, so if they're paying you to cook for them, you have to beat them.
Something special.
It has to be special. It has to be above and beyond.
Yes.
So, and that's what I present out there. You understand? That's what I present out there. When you give me money to cook for you, I know you can cook, so my job is to make sure that I excel.
Better than, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
Talk to me about representation, cultural representation. How important is it for you to represent the Cameroonian cuisine in Minnesota?
Yeah, when we had the vision, we knew our background, we knew we were African. My husband is from Nigeria, I'm from Cameroon, and those two cultures, they do blend really well. Cameroon and Nigeria blend so well. Like us, from the part of Cameroon I come from, the Manfe area also, we're very close to Calabar people. The way we eat, the way we cook, the way Cameroon, Manfe people are very close to Calabar people.
Okay.
So most of the dishes I was cooking, some Nigerians will come, they will think I'm in Nigeria because those two cultures blend really well. So when we drafted our menu, we had that at the back of mind. But then you cannot just target your own people.
Sure.
When you're doing business. And that's where the education part comes in. When we're thinking, we're looking at the big picture.
Yes.
Cameroonians, they support. They like to patronize their sister or
Yes.
brother out there. But then, culturally, we will not really eat outside often.
You're right.
Typical Cameroonians don't eat outside often.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to catering, they will cater some when they have events.
Yes.
But they're not the people who will constantly go out to eat
Or
in
order
restaurant.
food and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So when we drafted or crafted our menu, we looked into all of that. So we have our dishes that some of them are Cameroonian dishes, and some are Nigerian dishes. We put all those together. Then we put in some East African things, and then we put in some dishes that will attract
Other cultures. Okay.
So right now in our kitchen, we don't wait for Cameroonians to come in because we have Hmongs, we have Asians, we have all different kinds of people coming to eat our food right now.
And when
And
they
that's
come,
the only way we can survive in the business. So our target market is not one particular.
it's not a particular culture. But what I love so much about JTC is the fact that in as much as you're not targeting Cameroonians and Nigerians, have you found that people who are not Cameroonians and Nigerians, like you mentioned the Hmongs, the Chinese, Minnesotans, Americans, are they beginning to tap into the foods that are very common to only Cameroonians? Do they come and what are some of the food that they will buy most often from your cuisine?
For some reason, Eru, no. Typically, I used to only put Eru at the storefront when I cook Eru for like events. So I will cook a bigger batch and then serve some at the storefront because you understand.
Yeah.
But right now, I've been obliged to start cooking Eru on a regular basis because I don't know where they learn the Eru. But I'm telling you, most of these monks come here, they look for Eru and Obonoso. I don't know where. Oh, I asked them. Some of them will say they have Cameroonian friends, few of them. But some of them, they say they tried it one time.
And it was nice.
It was nice. And so they tell their other friends. So they come here and order the Eru. Eru and Obono, they are selling right now.
And they eat it with what?
They eat it just the way we eat it.
With pounded yam.
Pounded yam
Yeah.
or gari. So that's the thing. And the good thing about, even if I don't gain anything from this place, I know our African map is there.
It's
right now.
represented.
It's fully represented.
That is the cultural representation we're talking about.
Now they say African food is in North and War, and most of them come to eat it. Caucasian, African American,
Yeah.
all of them are coming this day, and the egusi, we cannot keep up with the demand. Egusi is our number one seller. I am telling you, if we don't, each day we sell at least 20 to 30 bowls of egusi. So you can imagine, when we cook that egusi, it has to be the biggest pot.
Yeah.
For
Wow.
us to meet up. There are people who drive all the way from St. Paul just to come and find egusi here.
Wow.
So you imagine. So people know about African food now. A lot of them, most of these monks and Asians, they know about egusi soup, which is a plus for us. It's a plus for
So-
Africans.
So
We need more of this kind of setting
to happen.
to happen so
Yeah.
that they should know that we are going to a new era where Africa is inclusive. Even when we are in our corporate jobs, we cannot be eating pizzas. We have African food that can be served
There you
in those
go.
places too. Africa is, this time we're talking about inclusion and all those kind of things right now. We're not in the gone are those days. Now people can talk about their African food, go there, talk about we can cater this and that. They will who present them to you. Understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have good food, delicious African cuisine
I'm
that can
very
be served anywhere.
I'm very glad to hear that.
So,
And this is what we're talking about, representing the African culture, the dynamic African culture in a state like Minnesota.
yeah.
Now, I know that transitioning from academia to entrepreneurship and starting something from scratch is not like something that you thought about it for 2 years, and you started this from scratch, probably not even knowing how it will go, but you say, you know what, I have the passion in me and I will take the leap of faith.
The one who opened my eyes. She refused. She said that's not the right license. The license has to be coming from the Anoka from the county where you are. I'm like, no, this license, I've been using this license. We went back and forth, back and forth.
But she gave you the guidance to
Yes,
go.
yes.
Okay.
If not of that lady, I still give her credit because I have been using that food.
Was this
certification
lady
thing.
a Minnesotan?
Yes, she was. She I think she's a manager at the Hilton, one of the Hilton hotels. Yeah, so I had to go now to the county and find out this catering license that they're asking for. And I'm like, I have this food. And then they told me all the criteria. But thank God, at that time, this place was already
In the making.
in the making. So I was already getting this place.
Set up, yeah.
So when once everything finished, and then I went and obtained that license, and I sent it to her. Oh my God, this woman said, you give me the right thing."
Wow.
Like, imagine that she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I would still be ignorant, still thinking
There you have the right thing,
that you
yeah.
have some, but that's not true. And I'm telling you, until now, some people think they have. And I have girlfriends who have had that food license, and they're thinking that
They
some
have it,
places,
yeah.
some places don't know the difference. There's some people who don't really know their work too, and that food safety is something sometimes will pass. But those who know, especially at the corporate level who have done events, they know those differences in life.
Now tell me, in case, say, there are people who don't know the difference, what is the possible aftermath that can come to you as the person who delivered a service without the right license?
Most times, people with that food certification license don't have insurance. And imagine in case where there's like a food poisoning or something happens to somebody who eats your food out in an event and something happens. That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
It's a big problem in that. If they go out there and put a claim and sue you, that's a big problem. For me, my insurance is in almost 3 million worth of insurance that I have to cover. Yeah,
Any eventuality.
Yes, and that's what the big corporate centers want. They're not looking for their license.
Yes.
They're looking for the insurance.
What is
to
the
cover.
coverage? Yeah.
You understand? Because you're bringing that food in now. It's in their premises. It's in their vicinity
Yeah.
you're using. It's
Was
them.
it inspected?
And that's when you want to do that certificate of insurance, you have to put their name in there. Yeah. Every time we do a coverage, we do a certificate of insurance, you have to put their name in there as the certificate holder. So that in case of anything, they will use that your insurance to cover it. If anybody comes back and sue them for food poisoning,
They will be able to use.
It's your insurance, my insurance. You will cook the food that will cover it.
Yeah.
So that the corporate world is smart. They
So
know.
people should, I think, other African immigrants who are here, who are aspiring to do big things, I think these are some of the things that they need to. Cutting shortcuts to do things can end up biting you in the long run. So I think that is something which people must really, really take note of. I've met some people who say, I know I'm not doing the right thing, but every business is a risk. And I tell them, if you are not doing the right thing knowingly, you are a criminal, because you are You are knowingly deceiving people. Secondly, you are a fool if you think that I will keep doing it until I get caught. Because this is what will put people in a position in this country that they don't come out from. It puts you in a hole and you are not able to come out from.
And that's the thing with us. We don't want to take those risks. We're always afraid. But for me, it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? If I don't take those big risks, how do I survive? How do I succeed? And if you want to get into the corporate world, you have to do everything by the book, by the letters. You have to be clean. Because most times when these corporate come out here, they have to see where you're cooking your food from. They have to. I tell you, they will come. They will pretend like, it's okay, but they want to come visit you. Weddings, when I want to do events for weddings, people, they want to come taste. They want to see where their food is coming from. So all those kind of things, and I'm like, you know what? It has to be coming from a decent place.
Sure.
And that's why you see most places will insist of a commercial kitchen. Because with a commercial kitchen, you have walk-in coolers, you have all the storage system, all the facilities, you know where the food temperature has to be at all times. I will not go to a place and serve food where the food I'm not sure. Because for me, the food comes from the stove to your table. But imagine if you are cooking from home and you don't have enough refrigerator or space. How does it happen?
How do you keep it? How do you preserve the food?
If you have to cook all the food. And I have that stove. Well, once I put those trays out there, there's 4 trays of food that comes from. Because I have 2 big burners. So each takes 4 trays. So do the math. So 8
saves
trays,
on time.
I guess. So it's if I want to bake chicken, I will bring out 8 trays of chicken at one time.
Wow.
From those ovens.
And how long does it take?
Those chicken, when once you prep them, for me, most times when I have those big events, sometimes I have to deliver about 30 to 40 trays of food on one event. And sometimes maybe I will have 2 of those kind of events. All I need to do, parboil them, prep them ahead of time. In the morning, I come, in the oven. They take about 15-30 minutes. They're done.
And 8 tray comes out in 15 to 30 minutes. So
all we need is just
efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I looked at it and I saw the kind of market I was starting to get, I'm like, you know what? We need to stay in a commercial kitchen. It's efficient.
That's it.
It cut the time. You're sure of your food. That's the most important one. Because we here, every 6 months, we get inspected.
Wow.
And once you don't pass the inspection, you get a fine. If you don't still pass, they can close you up. They do,
Wow.
They inspect all the way you preserve the food, your food temperature. They want to make sure that you know how long chicken cook. They will bring the food thermometer. They will check that chicken. If the chicken doesn't look like it was well properly cooked, you are in trouble. They will write it. Last time we had like few citations, but you have to fix it. Dates. Put those dates. Date your food. First in, first out. When you bring new food, you take out the old ones. You understand? They want to make sure that you are practicing those things.
Wow.
When I'm there with my staff, I'm not just cooking. I'm training them. How do you stay on top? How do you keep this food safe?
How do you stay compliant?
You have to. Imagine you're coming from home. Who is coming to check?
Who is checking? And then you just take it to people. They just eat.
So that's the difference. People don't understand. And then you give them a price and somebody will complain it's expensive. It's not the same.
Cheap is expensive.
Cheap has always been expensive. I remember very clear one incident where this lady at our wedding, when I gave her the cost of the pepper soup, she refused. She went for the cheap. But can you imagine the day your wedding, pepper soup, sour? People, they have announced it everything. People are standing on the line to come and eat pepper soup. They open like that, everything. bubbles.
Decay
Because these are
completely.
people who have cooked in their house overnight. It was a disgrace. But people know me with my pepper soup. That's my signature dish. From the fire to your, whether your occasion is at what time, that's when I will bring the pepper soup nice and hot in the cooler. They know when I open that cooler, there's one guy, he always say, "Is that if he's dead?" And I bring them my pepper soup, he will rise up. So those are the kind of things people should understand. Sometimes it's not about the money. You want to do a party, remember, people come to your party not because they are hungry. People come because you have invited them and they want to come spend deep quality time with you. So when you're planning a party, budget for food. It's important for you to get good food to your guests.
Yeah.
And that good food can only come from a licensed caterer.
Thank you. So, if you're wondering, oh, is it not the same thing I'm cooking in my kitchen? Now listen. When you eat food from JTC, you are covered. So you're eating the food. It's like you're driving your car with full coverage.
Yep.
You know that if anybody scratches you, it is repaired.
Covered.
So if you think that A can cook the same food in the kitchen and serve it to you, I want you to rethink your choices. So if you're here in Minnesota and you are listening to this or you're watching this, I want you to understand that at JTC, we're not just cooking African food. At JTC, we are doing it the right way. We are making sure that you, the final consumer, you are covered. Every piece of meat that you take from the dish to your mouth to your stomach, you have full coverage. Not only are you tasting the heart of Africa itself in every dish and every slice, but you are covered
You're covered.
as you eat every piece of that meal. Now, you are a doctor. Your husband is a doctor. You have a PhD in education. Your husband has a PhD in business administration. How have you integrated your vast and sophisticated education into your business?
For us, it has come quite handy. Our education has come really handy with the business. Sometimes I feel like maybe we're not using it enough because you always feel like if you have like a degree in education, I should be in the classrooms and doing teaching. No, but this degree has come in handy for both of us. There are things that sometimes we don't know how we put it together, but it just blends it. And we did a lot of research during our schoolwork. We didn't just do research, but we did a lot of communication. So all of that we're using it. The way you talk to your customers. You understand? Education has to play a big role in that.
Great.
The way we do our market research, our target market, all of this works with our background.
That's good.
So there are things, the way we put, even our menu, we did not have to hire somebody to come and draft the menu or a dietitian to come and draft. We put one and two together and we come up with a decent menu with the market price, how it will match. When we go out there to do our market research, you will be surprised how we balance things together. But I think it's all because we have a background. So school plays a really big role with anything you're doing. So I like to encourage especially young people who still have the brain to go to school. Even if you want to do any form of business, it's good to have an academic background. It will help you. The way you will talk, the way you will do your research, and the way you will write anything you do, the way you will build your customer relationship, especially, it has to do with all the training you got from school. For me, I did a lot of classes in leadership, ethics, customer services. From that one, they know I will appease to my customers at any point in time.
Yeah.
Some people will fail in business just the way they talk, just the way they do things, just the way so especially us Africans. Most Africans are very, very rude. The way they present themselves. I've called a woman who is a teacher, the way she will answer you. You will wonder, really.
What I've noticed from you and your husband is that level of humility.
Oh.
Normally, when people see you doing things like food, they feel like they have something above you. When you are serving them, they
Brother,
feel
don't
like
even
they
get
have
me,
something
don't even
above
get
you.
me started on
So,
that part.
so they
That
talk, the way they
labeling,
speak to
that
you.
labeling, the labeling, especially with the African mentality, the way they label people who cook, who cater, is something is so sickening.
Yeah.
I used to be in this community, myself and my husband. People used to mock at us. They laugh at us. Most times when I went for events, there are people who judge me.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot label somebody because of their profession. You don't even know. Money has no color. That's number one.
Yeah.
And to label somebody because of what they do, because you know, back home we have that mentality. People where they cook, illiterate,
Yeah.
no class. I was in a gathering where they were literally laughing at me.
Say that one is frustrated.
Yes, silly fine girl. They even sent a message to my elder sister to go come tell me to try and go to school. They are waiting and work at fry pop off all sides. See, you understand? But for me and my husband, we do our thing. We work in action. We don't go out there and make noise, be loud. It's not necessary. We have trained our mind and our soul to humble up. When you humble yourself, then people will lift you up. We go somewhere. My husband can go anywhere, set up the table. Most people did not even know we go to school until I graduated. No, most people did not know we were going to school. Nobody, because there's no point. You don't pay nobody's bill. Whether I go to school, whether I work at Fry or Pop, it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that is what many of my own sisters and brothers were laughing at me. How when I was frying popo, was I not helping them to eat popo and beans? I used to go to parks. Yeah. When I started this business, I had no limits. I would go to park events. I would put my stove there. Myself and my husband, we will set up. And sometimes even I will fry those things for free, just because I want to give back to my community. When you have an event, you reach out. I will just tell you, bring your stuff. I'll mix it. I go there. I sit there with my pen. I fry your popo's life. And even with my PhD, I don't even give a damn. I still do those things. You see, for me, it's about servant leadership.
Yes.
When once you attain a certain level of education, you understand, that it's not about you. It's about your service.
Yeah.
And you, to present yourself, you gotta humble. Bring down yourself. There's no need to brag, because this country, everybody takes care of their bills, and it doesn't matter. You don't want to. You don't know what people are going through.
Sure.
So myself and my husband, we like to stay humble. So we don't want people feel like because they get it, because they have this. No,
Yeah.
we're not those kind of people.
Sure.
Even when I'm behind there in the kitchen working with my staff, when you come there sometimes you won't know who
You will
is
not
the boss here.
understand. That's true.
Because we make it easy on them. Because who knows tomorrow?
Who knows tomorrow?
Today you can be up there. Who knows? One day you are down
You're
there.
down.
So
And even if not for the sake of being up and being down,
yes.
the human dignity must be respected in
It must be
everything we do.
respected. And this is an appeal. Please, people out there in the community, don't look down on others. Don't look down on anybody. Don't look down on people's profession. You are not better than anybody. In as much you can be up there, there's still somebody you are looking up to. So every time, even at our level, in as much as I have people who look up to me, I still have others I look up to. So it's a ladder. You go up just like that. You understand
Yep.
how it works. So that ladder, don't ever, and it's always a learning process. I learn I learn from my staff in the kitchen. I learn from anybody.
Now, we talked with some of your customers. I want you to listen to what they had to say about JTC African Cuisine.
Hey guys, so this is one of the seasoned customers at JTC, and here we are. So please tell us your name and let us know what your experience has been at JTC. So what's your name, please?
My name is Carlene, and I discovered this place about 3 months ago, and I love coming here at least every 2 weeks or every other week. I come and shop from the JTC African Cuisine. Yes.
Okay. And Karen, where are you coming from? What country do you come from?
I'm from Togo.
Karen is all the way from Togo.
Yes.
And she loves JTC African Cuisine. That is what we're talking about. Africans making it in Minnesota.
Yes.
What is your staple food that you like to order from JTC?
The jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
Yes.
What would you like to tell somebody out there? Maybe there's an African person out there who doesn't know about JTC. What would you like to tell them?
So you guys should come and visit. The food here are delicious, and they are affordable also. And we need to continue the African food. Let's take it to the world. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Karen.
What would you want to tell other African immigrants out there who have studied and who have all these degrees and they are considering something maybe in entrepreneurship that is totally different from what they have studied, but they have a passion to it?
So there's this popular saying that your passion will earn you a fortune, while your degree will earn you a living. So once you have your passion, go for it. That's another way for you to liberate yourself. Because once you go, you're doing this paycheck to paycheck, working for people, you can never fulfill your dream working for somebody else. The only way you can fulfill your dream is to follow your passion. And once you have a passion and you are determined and hardworking, you will earn a fortune. I tell you the truth. Anything you put your hand and mind to it, there's money in it.
Me and my wife, we naturally don't want to work for nobody. We have always believed that the secret of success in America is when you start calling the shots yourself. When you start paying somebody to do a job for you, that's when you start earning money. Not when you go in to work for somebody and clock in and they give you a paycheck.
And there you have it, JTC African Cuisine, brought to you by AfriSota Digital. What a story, what a journey, what an ambition, what an inspiration. Make sure you visit JTC African Cuisine Northtown Mall in Blaine. See you in part 2 of JTC African Cuisine, where we meet the supporting husband of this wonderful inspirator. Until then, bye-bye.